A person's life can change completely with just one decision, just one moment. This is the incredible story of a young man who rose from despair, poverty, and helplessness to become king in a royal palace.
A young man stood at the edge of despair, ready to end his suffering. As he reached out to pick a magical golden apple from a mysterious tree, a voice stopped him. "Stop," the voice said. "You cannot pick this apple. Not unless you answer my questions correctly. Answer wrongly, and you yourself will become an apple." The young man, broken by life's cruelty, did not hesitate. "Ask me whatever you wish," he replied. "I have nothing left to lose. I was going to end my life anyway. So what if I become an apple? At least my suffering will end." The voice began to speak. "Tell me, what shines brightly at night but disappears during the day?" The young man answered, "A firefly." "Correct," said the voice. "Now answer this. What stays with us always, follows us everywhere, but can never speak?" The young man thought for a moment and replied, "A shadow." "Very good," said the voice. "One final question. What cuts people's hearts without any knife, causing wounds deeper than any blade?" The young man paused and said, "Harsh words spoken in anger and cruelty." "You have answered all three questions correctly," the voice declared. "You may take the apple. But remember this well, take only one apple. Take more, and you will receive nothing at all." The young man reached out and plucked one golden apple from the tree. As he held it in his hand, he wondered what destiny awaited him. In a small village called Rampa, there lived a poor blacksmith named Marcus. He lived with his elderly mother in a broken, modest cottage made of simple stone and crumbling walls. Marcus worked every day in his small forge, creating pots, vessels, and tools for the village people. Marcus was an honest man. He worked from sunrise to sunset, hammering metal and shaping tools with great care and precision. Every item he created was strong and well-made, crafted with pride and dedication. One day, Marcus's mother spoke to him with sadness in her voice. "My son, I am growing old. I wish to see you married and settled before I leave this world. I wish to know that you will have someone to care for you. But look at this broken cottage we live in. What girl would agree to come and live here with us? What family would accept such a match? My child, if you could fix this home, make it respectable, then I would be happy to arrange your wedding." Marcus listened to his mother's words with love and respect. But he shook his head gently. "Mother, I cannot think of marriage right now. My circumstances are too humble. My earning is too little. First, I must improve our situation. I must save more money and make our life better. Only then can I marry with honor and provide well for a wife. Please, mother, let me work hard first. When the time is right, I will marry. But not now." Every morning, Marcus would go to his shop early. He would arrange his tools and wait for customers. He worked on every vessel and tool with complete honesty, never trying to cheat anyone. One day, an old woman named Shanti came to his shop. She had broken cooking pots that needed repair. "Marcus," she called out, "I have been waiting for you. My pots are broken and I need to cook for my family. Can you fix them for me?" Marcus smiled warmly. "Of course, Auntie. Sit down and rest. I will repair your pots immediately. Soon they will be as good as new." Marcus worked skillfully on her pots. He fixed every dent and crack. When he was finished, he handed the pots back to Shanti in perfect condition. Shanti asked him, "How much do I owe you, Marcus?" But Marcus refused payment. "Please, Auntie, keep your money. This was just a small repair." It brought me no hardship. I am happy to help you. Please, do not insult me by trying to pay me." Shanti's eyes filled with tears. She placed her hand on Marcus's head and blessed him. "May you live long, my boy. May you have a long and prosperous life. Your honesty and kindness will take you far. One day, you will achieve great things. This blessing comes from the bottom of my heart." One morning, Marcus woke early and went to his shop as he always did. Before opening his shop, he stood outside and prayed to the Divine Spirit. "O Great Spirit in the sky, please let this day bring me good fortune. Let customers come to my shop. Let me earn enough to feed my mother and myself. Let my honesty be rewarded." He opened his shop and arranged all his tools and vessels carefully, hoping that customers would come and appreciate his work. That morning, a young woman named Myra arrived at his shop. She looked at all the vessels and tools with admiration. She said to Marcus, "Your craftsmanship is beautiful. Are these really made by your own hands? They are so strong and well made. I come to your shop because I know the quality of your work is the best in the village. I trust you completely." Marcus felt happy hearing her kind words. He gave her several vessels and tools, and Myra left satisfied with her purchases. But as the afternoon progressed, something strange happened in the sky. Dark black clouds began to gather. The wind started to blow harder and harder. The trees began to sway and bend. Marcus looked up at the sky with worry. "These clouds look dangerous," he said to himself. "A terrible storm is coming. I must close my shop and hurry home to my mother. She is alone in the cottage. I must reach her before the storm arrives." Marcus quickly packed his tools and locked his shop. He ran toward his cottage as fast as he could. When Marcus reached home, his mother was sitting outside, also looking at the dark sky with concern. "Come inside quickly, Mother," Marcus said. "A terrible storm is coming." They went inside their cottage and closed the door. All through the night, the storm raged with terrible fury. The wind howled and screamed. The rain poured down in sheets. Lightning flashed across the sky. Thunder shook the very ground. The cottage seemed to shake with each powerful gust of wind. Marcus's mother held his hand and they prayed together. "Please, Divine Spirit, protect our village and all the people in it," she whispered. "Let no one be harmed by this terrible storm." All through the night, the storm continued. By morning, everything had changed. When morning came, Marcus rushed to his shop to see what had happened. When he arrived, his heart broke into 1,000 pieces. His entire shop was destroyed. The storm had torn it apart. His tools lay scattered everywhere, covered in rust and mud. All the vessels he had carefully crafted were broken into pieces. The structure of his shop was demolished. Everything he owned, everything he had worked for so hard, was gone. Marcus stood in the middle of the wreckage, tears streaming down his face. He fell to his knees. "No, no, no," he cried out. "Everything is gone. Everything I built is destroyed. How will I feed my mother now? How will I pay for our cottage? How will we survive?" For days, Marcus wandered through the village looking for help. He approached the wealthiest man in the village, Seth Chaman Lal, a merchant with many businesses. Marcus approached him with hope in his eyes, though his clothes were torn and his face was dirty from working in the ruins of his shop. "Please, Seth Chaman Lal," Marcus said respectfully. "I have suffered a terrible loss. The storm destroyed everything I owned. I have nothing left. Please, can you give me some work? Or perhaps a small loan to help me rebuild? I am desperate. I will work hard and repay any debt." Seth Chaman Lao looked at Marcus with disgust. He did not show any compassion. Instead, he spoke harshly and cruelly. "Get away from me, you fool. Do you think I am responsible for every person who suffers? When your circumstances have been destroyed, why should I care? Why come to me? I did not destroy your shop. The storm did. If your life is ruined, then perhaps you deserve it. Maybe this is God's judgment on you. Go somewhere else. Do not waste my time. I have my own problems to deal with. I cannot help you." Seth Chaman Lao turned his back to Marcus and walked away, leaving the desperate young man standing alone. Marcus walked through the streets with no direction, his mind empty and broken. He had nowhere to go and no one to turn to. He thought of his mother at home, waiting for him, wondering how they would eat, wondering what would happen to them. Finally, Marcus found himself at the edge of the forest, near a large old tree. A thought came to him, dark and final. He thought, "What is the point of living? I have nothing. I have no business, no home, no hope, no future. My mother is old. If I die, at least she will not have to watch me suffer. Perhaps it is better if I just end this suffering right now. Yes, ending my life would be better for everyone." Marcus found a rope and tied it to a branch of the old tree. He made a loop and put his head through it. He was ready to end his life. He was ready to give up completely. Just as Marcus was about to end his life, a voice called out to him. It was the voice of a small bird. The bird had a broken wing and could not fly. Its name was Mina. "Wait," the bird called out. "Please wait a moment. I know you are suffering and you are ready to leave this world. But before you do, would you do me one final kindness? Look at me. My wing is broken and I cannot fly. I am trapped on the ground and helpless." Marcus paused. He looked at the bird and saw its pain and vulnerability, mirroring his own. Mina continued, "I heard that if you go to the Blue Mountain and find the magical healing herb that grows there, it can heal any wound. Would you bring that herb to me before you end your life? Let me recover so I can fly again. Do one final act of kindness before you go. One final good deed." Marcus looked at the small bird. Something inside him stirred. Perhaps this was a sign. Perhaps there was still something he could do in this world, even if it was just helping a small wounded bird. "Very well," Marcus said. "I will help you. I will go to the Blue Mountain and find this healing herb for you. After that, I will end my suffering. But you are right. Let me do one final good thing." Mina hopped onto Marcus's shoulder and said, "Thank you. Come, let me guide you to the Blue Mountain. It is far away, but I know the path." Together, Marcus and Mina began their journey. They walked for many hours. Marcus carried the small bird on his shoulder as they traveled through forests and over hills. His body was tired and weak from hunger and despair, but he continued walking. After many hours of walking, Marcus grew exhausted. "How much longer?" he asked. "When will we reach this Blue Mountain?" Mina replied, "Just a little further, Marcus. We are getting closer. I promise you, we are almost there. Do you see that tree in the distance? The one with the beautiful red apples growing on it. Those apples look delicious. I am very hungry, Marcus. I have not eaten in days. Could you bring me some of those apples?" Marcus looked at the distant tree. He felt too weak to argue. He walked toward the apple tree. The tree was tall and beautiful, and the apples glowed like rubies in the fading light. As Marcus reached out to pick an apple, a powerful voice stopped him. As Marcus reached toward an apple on the tree, a powerful voice echoed through the air. "Stop," the voice commanded. "You cannot take this apple. These are sacred apples. You may only take them if you answer my riddles correctly. This is an ancient test. Answer correctly and you may take one apple. Answer incorrectly, and you yourself will become an apple, transformed into stone for all eternity." Marcus thought about the threat. He thought about what he had lost. He thought about his despair. But then he remembered the small bird on his shoulder, trusting him to help. He took a deep breath. "Ask me your riddles," Marcus said. "I have nothing to lose. I was prepared to end my life. So what does it matter if I become an apple? Ask whatever you wish to ask." The voice began. First riddle. What shines brightly in the night sky but disappears completely during the day? Marcus thought for a moment and answered, "A firefly glows at night but hides during the day." "Correct," said the voice. Second riddle, continued the voice. What is always with us? It follows us everywhere we go, yet it has no voice and cannot speak. What is it? Marcus smiled slightly. A shadow. It is with us always, but it cannot speak. Correct again, said the voice. You are wise, young man. Now, the final riddle is the most difficult. Listen carefully. What hurts people's hearts without using any weapon, without any knife, without any tool? What causes wounds deeper than any blade can cut? Marcus thought deeply about this question. He thought about his own pain. He thought about the cruel words of Seth Chaman Lao, words that had hurt him more than any physical blow. He answered, harsh words spoken in anger and cruelty. Unkind words spoken by the tongue can cut deeper than any knife. You have answered all 3 riddles correctly, the voice announced. You are a wise and perceptive young man. You may take 1 apple. But remember this well. Take only 1 apple. If you take more than 1, you will receive nothing at all. The apple you eat will change you. It will give you a gift. Use this gift wisely. Marcus reached up and picked 1 single golden apple from the tree. The apple glowed in his hand. He walked back to Mina. I have brought you an apple, Marcus said to the bird. Please eat it and recover. But Mina looked at Marcus and said, Marcus, I am no longer hungry. By the time you took so long to get the apple, my hunger went away. I no longer need the apple. But Marcus, you have come so far. You have answered the riddles. You have earned this apple. You should eat it. Your need is greater than mine. Marcus hesitated, but he was so weak and hungry. He took a bite of the apple. As soon as he swallowed it, a brilliant golden light exploded around him. The light was so bright it illuminated the entire forest. Marcus felt a strange warmth flowing through his body. A power began to grow inside him, a power he had never felt before. When the light faded, Marcus felt different. He felt stronger. He felt renewed. But he did not yet understand what had happened to him. After the magical light faded, Marcus and Mina continued their journey. They walked for many more hours until finally they reached the Blue Mountain. The mountain was unlike anything Marcus had ever seen. It was enormous and magnificent, covered in blue stone and sparkling with crystals. Thousands and thousands of birds flew around the mountain, singing beautifully. Look, said Mina. We have finally arrived at the Blue Mountain. Here, I must show you something. Mina guided Marcus up the mountain. As they climbed higher, Marcus could see the entire kingdom below them. It was breathtaking. Finally, they reached a high place on the mountain where Mina showed him a magical glowing herb. There, said Mina. That is the magical healing herb. If you bring it to me and apply it to my wing, I will be healed completely. But Marcus, I must warn you. This herb is not an ordinary plant. It is very difficult to pick. It will not come loose easily. You will need all your strength to pick it. Marcus approached the herb carefully. It glowed with a soft blue light. He reached down and tried to pull it from the ground. But it would not budge. He pulled harder. Still nothing. His hands grew tired, but the herb refused to come loose. It will not come free, Marcus said, frustrated and exhausted. It is too strong. I cannot do this. But Mina said to him, Marcus, you must not give up. Inside you, there is a power that you do not yet understand. You ate the magical apple. The power of that apple is inside you. You have strength beyond what you think. Use your inner strength. Push harder. Believe in yourself. Marcus closed his eyes. He thought about his desperate life. He thought about the darkness he had felt. He thought about the magical apple. He thought about the power he had felt flowing through him. He took a deep breath and pulled with all his might, with all his inner strength, with all the power that now lived inside him. Suddenly, the herb came loose. It came free from the ground with a burst of blue light. I did it, Marcus gasped, breathing heavily. I did it. I actually did it. Marcus rushed back to Mina and carefully applied the magical herb to her broken wing. As soon as the herb touched her wing, the wound healed instantly. The feathers became strong again. The wing became perfect. Mina fluttered her wings and rose into the air. She flew in circles around Marcus, higher and higher. Marcus, Mina sang out joyfully. My wing is healed. I can fly again. I am free. Thank you so much, my friend. You have saved my life. Marcus felt something strange inside himself. For the first time in weeks, he felt happiness. His deep sadness had lifted. His pain had decreased. He felt at peace. I do not understand, Marcus said to Mina. Why do I feel so different now? When I helped you, my sadness went away. My suffering decreased. How is this possible? Mina flew down and landed on Marcus's shoulder. You have discovered a great secret, the bird said wisely. Helping others, especially when we are suffering ourselves, actually heals us. It brings us peace and purpose. The apple you ate contained divine blessing. That blessing is now inside you. It has given you not just strength of body, but strength of spirit. Mina paused and then said, Marcus, I must tell you something important. In 3 days, there will be a great announcement in the royal kingdom. The king will declare that his daughter, the princess, is looking for a husband. He will hold a great competition. Whoever can break the sacred stone of the Blue Mountain will be allowed to marry the princess and will become the king of the entire kingdom. Marcus, you have the power now. You should go to this competition and try your fortune. Your life could change completely. 3 days later, Marcus arrived at the royal palace. A great crowd had gathered. Hundreds of the strongest warriors and fighters in the kingdom had come to participate in the competition. Some were tall and muscular. Some were famous fighters who had won many battles. Some were skilled swordsmen and archers. The king stood on a raised platform and addressed the crowd. My people, he announced. My daughter, the princess, needs a husband. But I do not want her to marry just any man. I want her to marry a man who is truly strong, truly brave, and truly noble. So I have set a test. Here before you is the sacred stone of the Blue Mountain. It is the hardest stone in all the world. Whoever can break this stone in two will have proven themselves worthy. That man will marry my daughter and will become the king of this kingdom." The stone sat in the middle of the arena. It was enormous, easily as tall as 3 men and as wide as a house. It was dark gray and seemed unbreakable. One by one, the strongest warriors stepped forward and tried to break the stone. The first warrior, a giant of a man, swung his hammer with all his might. The hammer hit the stone with a tremendous crash. But the stone did not break. It did not even crack. The warrior fell back, exhausted and disappointed. The second warrior tried. Then the third. Then the fourth. Warrior after warrior approached the stone and tried their best. But none of them could even make a scratch on it. Some broke their tools. Some injured themselves. But no one could break the stone. After many warriors had failed, the crowd began to mock and laugh. "Impossible," they said. "This stone cannot be broken. No man is strong enough." Then Marcus stepped forward. He was dressed in simple clothes, not the armor and finery of the warriors. He was thin from his years of poverty and struggle, not muscular like the fighters. The crowd looked at him with contempt and amusement. "Look," someone said, pointing and laughing. "A poor blacksmith? This simple man thinks he can do what the strongest warriors could not? How amusing!" But the king noticed Marcus and said, "Let this man try. Perhaps there is something I do not see in him." Marcus walked to the stone. He closed his eyes. Inside his mind, he prayed to the divine spirit that had blessed him. "Please," he said silently, "let me succeed. Let this be my moment. Let this be my redemption. Let this be the moment my life changes." Then Marcus raised his hammer high. He felt the power inside him, the power from the magical apple, flowing through his muscles and his spirit. He brought the hammer down with tremendous force. The impact was so powerful that the ground shook. The stone cracked down the middle. Then, it split completely in two, each piece falling to the ground with a thunderous crash. The crowd fell silent in absolute shock and amazement. No one could believe what they had seen. The king stood up from his throne, his eyes wide with wonder. He said, "Extraordinary! This is truly extraordinary. Tell me, young man, who are you? Where do you come from?" Marcus bowed respectfully and answered, "Your Majesty, I am Marcus. I am a simple blacksmith from a small village. I am poor and I have nothing. But I must tell you something important. This strength that you see, it is not mine alone. It came to me through the help of others. A small bird showed me the meaning of kindness. An old woman blessed my work. And a mysterious guardian taught me wisdom on a mountain. All of these people together have brought me to this moment." The king's eyes filled with tears. He came down from his throne and placed his hand on Marcus's shoulder. He looked into Marcus's eyes and saw not just strength, but goodness and noble character. The king said to Marcus, "Young man, you are not just strong in body, but strong in character. Your humility and gratitude move me deeply. I have been waiting for a son-in-law who possesses not just physical strength, but moral strength. You are that man. I wish you to marry my daughter." The princess stood and walked down the steps. Her name was Diana. She looked at Marcus with admiration and respect. She said, "Marcus, I have heard your words. I have seen your strength. But more than that, I have seen your goodness. I want to marry you. Not because you won a competition, but because you have won my heart." Marcus was overwhelmed with emotion. He had gone from the depths of despair to the height of joy. The next day, a magnificent wedding took place in the royal palace. The entire kingdom came to celebrate. Musicians played beautiful music. The palace was decorated with flowers and lights. Marcus's elderly mother was brought to the palace and seated in a place of great honor. She wore fine clothes and jewelry for the first time in her life. She wept with joy as she watched her son marry the princess. The king said to Marcus, "From this day forward, you are no longer Marcus the blacksmith. You are now King Marcus of this realm. I am growing old. My reign will soon end. You will rule this kingdom when I step down from the throne. Rule with the same kindness and humility that has brought you to this moment." Marcus embraced his mother and his new wife. His mother held him tightly and said, "My son, I always knew you would achieve great things. Your goodness would be rewarded. I have been waiting to see this day." Marcus replied, "Mother, I learned something very important during the darkest days of my life. When we help others without expecting anything in return, when we serve with honesty and humility, life rewards us in ways we never imagined. When I stopped thinking about my own suffering and helped a small injured bird, I was saved. When I served my customers with honesty, I was blessed. My entire life has been transformed by these simple acts of kindness." Years passed, and Marcus became a beloved king. He was known throughout the kingdom for his wisdom, his compassion, and his fairness. He helped the poor. He protected the weak. He ruled with justice and mercy. He built schools and hospitals. He made sure no one in his kingdom suffered from hunger or homelessness. One day, Marcus stood before his people and told them his story. He said, "My people, I was once a poor blacksmith living in poverty and despair. I was alone, suffering, ready to end my life. But I learned that kindness, perseverance, and faith can transform any life, no matter how broken it seems. If you ever feel hopeless, remember my story. Remember that help can come from unexpected places. Remember that helping others, even when you are suffering, brings blessings into your own life." While the story of King Marcus was becoming a legend throughout the land, far away in another peaceful village, a young woman was beginning her own journey of struggle and transformation. In this distant village, there lived a young woman named Rupa. The village was surrounded by green fields and simple farming communities. Every morning, roosters would crow and farmers would go to work in the fields. It was a quiet, peaceful place. Rupa lived in a humble cottage with her family. She was a kind and gentle woman with intelligent eyes that showed great inner goodness. But Rupa had something that troubled her deeply. She had very little hair on her head. Her head was almost bare, with only a few fine strands visible. In her village, this was considered a terrible misfortune and a curse. Rupa's husband was named Rajesh. He had gone to the city to seek work and earn money so that he could build a better life for them. He had promised Rupa that he would return soon and that they would start a new life together. But weeks passed, then months passed, and Rajesh did not return. Every day, the women of the village gathered at the well to collect water. And every day, when they saw Rupa, they would mock her and say cruel things. "Look, here comes Rupa," they would say, laughing. "Bald as an egg, this one. Poor thing. Her husband has not come home in months. I wonder if he is even coming back. Who would want to live with a woman like that?"